Okay, chapter 12. So now Celeste has had sex with both son and father, and son is not too pleased by this. I still cannot find my glasses. I tried calling an optometrist, but I couldn't find my phone either because I can't see anything. Though we'd escaped any legal consequences from Buck's interruption, the sex with Jack had definitely suffered. Puerile buoyancy no longer poured from him like an energy source. This had been one of my favorite things about our sessions together. I was determined to get it back. Prior to the incident, if a camera had been trained on Jack's face during intercourse, the viewer might have guessed he was jumping on a trampoline. The underwater sway of his hair combined with the wordless marvel in his bouncing face made him look nearly airborne when he was on top of me. Now there was a sullen determination to the way he went about the task. When he inserted himself, he did so with concentrated silence, watching as though our two parts could never fit together without his direct oversight. His eyes, squinting with focus, made him seem like a burdened metal worker performing an arduous task on a lathe. So Jack's not enjoying it like he used to. The thrill is gone. So she tries to get him into it, and he's just not into it. But, so she comes up with this idea. She wants to drug his father and have sex next to the body. And they say romance is dead, you know? Romance isn't dead, it's just drugged and passed out. So, of course, Jack is kind of like, we can't just drug him, that's kind of sick. And in response to that, Celeste is like, oh, it's no big deal. I do it to my husband all the time. Now, I get that Jack is 14. I get that he's inexperienced with women, or just human behavior in general, I guess. Anybody who's not 14 would hear, oh yeah, we'll just drug him, because I drug my husband all the time. That's a red flag. So red. It's so red. She's older than him, and his teacher, so he probably still looks at her like some kind of authority figure. So she's just reassuring him, yeah, it'll be fine. Don't worry. We'll just drug him. So at dinner, she drugs Buck. When we finally pulled Buck up onto his bed, I began unbuttoning Jack's pants. Jack started to stand, but I pulled him back down with me onto the mattress. Jack didn't seem to understand the empowering angle of the setup. He had an erection, but his eyes kept scanning the bedroom, eventually returning to the body lying next to us. So then, after the sex, Celeste decides, as a bonus, as like points for her, she pulls down Buck's pants, and she leaves a little note that says, "You were great, thanks." So this way she can get credit for having sex with him, even though she didn't. Because he won't remember anything. I had the urge to reach inside my panties, grab a fingerful of Jack's spunk, and trace it across Buck's lips. But I didn't want Jack to see me. He wouldn't understand why I was doing it. So then we go through, it's Valentine's Day, and, Jack being the teenage boy that he is, still thinks that's a holiday. So he wants to do something nice. So they go to the roller rink. And they skate around. And the only real reason Celeste likes it is because the lights are like low and different colors and stuff. So it kind of hides their age gap. So people just, casual onlookers can't tell if, she's younger than she is or if he's older than he is. So this affords her the fantasy of kind of skating up to him and like grabbing him, and she kind of pretends like it doesn't have to be Jack, it could just be any boy, and that she likes that. Okay, so now we fast forward to March, and they're in Jack's bedroom having sex when they hear a strange shuffling outside the door, and Jack thinks that his dad just came home, but Celeste knows better. She caught a glimpse of him stepping away from the door, so he definitely saw what they were doing. Buck's immediate view would have been Jack's buttocks, clenching and unclenching, his scrotum swinging between his legs, my elbows braced against the wall, and my head and throat tilted backward in the clutches of receiving. So she knows she's caught this time. She's caught. He definitely saw everything. So she tells Jack to stay in his room and get dressed, and she's gonna go out and talk to Buck. And she's trying to think of the different angles of how to play this. Like, her first instinct is to try to appeal to his sense of shame, and that the public, would look down on him to know that he and his son were sharing a woman. That's one of the angles she's thinking of taking. But it turns out she doesn't have to do that. She doesn't even really have to talk to him, because Buck is currently in the hallway having a heart attack. He contorted himself as best he could so that his face was looking over and up toward mine. Its color alone nearly caused me to scream. His cheeks had taken on a reddish-purple hue. It looked like he was being hung with an invisible noose. So Buck goes down, he hits the floor, and instead of running to a phone and calling 911, she just kind of waits there for a little while. So you can kind of guess what her intentions are here. And then eventually Jack comes out of his room, and when he sees his dad, he freaks out. And he wants to save his dad. It's his dad. So Jack wants to call for help, but Celeste says it's too late. He's gone. So now Jack's crying, and she's comforting him with putting his head in her bosom. It's like, hasn't your bosom caused enough problems, lady? Goodness gracious. And the other problem is, Buck's car has her car blocked in. So she has to have Jack go out and move his now dead dad's car so that she can get the fuck out of there. And then she tells Jack, after I'm gone, then call an ambulance. Well, go to bed, go to bed, go to bed. My dad died for teacher. And that was chapter 12.